Hi everybody, my name's Brent and today I'm going to show you a few tips to help you improve your crow pose. Okay? So the first thing you want to do is come down onto all fours. And before we do anything else, we're going to just get the cat-cow shape in our muscle memory. So if you've taken a yoga class before, you've probably done cat-cow, which is inhaling, pulling your chest forward. This is the cow shape. And as you exhale, you round your back. This is the cat shape. Okay, so you really want to feel that thoracic spine pushing up towards the ceiling. This is going to be important for your crow pose. So just get that into your muscle memory for a moment. Take a breath or two, and then relax. Okay, the next thing we're going to do before we put any load on our hands in an arm balancing pose is stretch the wrists a little bit. So just turn your fingertips back towards your knees. Alternate shifting the weight from one arm to the other. Maybe bend the elbows back toward your body a little bit. And after you've done that for a breath or two, flip the palms over so that the backs of the hands are on the floor. All 10 fingertips are pressing into the ground. And if you can, straighten your arms. Try not to force that. You can really hurt your wrists if they're not ready to open up this much. If they do straighten, you can twist your forearms a little bit just to give your wrists a little extra stretch. And if you want to try a little more challenging variation, you can bring your middle finger and ring finger together, tuck your toes and lift your knees off the floor, and come into a downward dog shape on the backs of your hands. Okay, this is pretty intense, so if you're not ready for this, be mindful of that. Don't force it. Work towards it slowly. Eventually you'll get there. After you've warmed up the wrists, sit on your heels, shake them out a little bit, squeeze your fingers, and we're ready to try our crow pose. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is spread your fingers really wide and let the hands rotate outward a little bit, okay? So if your hands are turning in, what's going to happen is your elbows are going to bend away from each other. This is not what we want. You want to turn the hands out a little bit so that when you bend your elbows, they draw straight back. This is going to be really important because in order to be stable in your crow pose, you want the weight to be going straight down through your forearms, okay? And you want your elbows pulling towards each other. If they start to bow away from each other, you're going to sink down. It's going to be hard to hold the pose. Okay, once you have your base set up with your hands, go ahead and lift your knees, walk your feet towards your wrists a little bit. Now, one of the things I see people doing when they're trying to learn how to do a crow pose is they put their knees outside of their arms. Okay, that's a fine way to start, but eventually if you want to improve your crow pose, you want to start pulling your kneecaps up into your armpits. So you want to think of your kneecap as a stick of deodorant, and you're literally trying to put deodorant on with your kneecap up into your armpit. Okay, so lift your hips, lift up onto the balls of your feet, pull those knees up into your armpits, and then start to transfer the weight forward. Okay, so you're really compact here. Now, one of the other problems with crow pose that people encounter is that they get this, especially if you're in a class where you're working really hard and you're sweating, your knees are going to slide off the back of your arms, right? You might have experienced that before. If that's happening, the problem is not that you're too sweaty. The problem is that you're not lifting enough. So you really need to feel your knees lifting up along your arms towards your armpits, and you need to use your belly and that cat shape that we did earlier to pull those knees up and in. So set it up, lift the kneecaps up into your armpits, lift the heels, start to transfer the weight forward, and as you lift one foot up off the floor, try to keep leaning forward until the other foot comes up off the ground. Ideally, you don't even have to pick it up. It just lifts by the amount that you lean forward. And then once it's up, you can pull the heels towards each other, pull your heels towards your butt, and keep drawing those knees up and in. Okay? You'll start with bent arms, and then from there you can progress to having straight arms. Either way, you need to keep pulling those knees up into your arms. Okay? Otherwise, you're going to slide down the backs of your arms, and it's not going to work. Okay? See if you can hold it for about 5 breaths, and then slowly come down, take a rest, maybe try it again. Remember that crow pose, like any other advanced pose, is a journey. Okay? So be open to the process, be patient with it, and see what the journey of learning how to do the pose has to teach you more than fixating on getting the pose itself. Okay? Good luck, keep practicing. Namaste.